folks. Welcome to the Culture Casino.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is Sunday. It's Father's Day, and I hope you all have had the opportunity, if you still have your father with you, to say hello and thank you for bringing me into the world, or at least donating sperm to my mother. Anyway, I hope that everybody is having a great day. I know that I am. I always enjoy Sundays. It gives me an hour to talk to any and all of you who, try to show up and, at least support my channel, which I truly do appreciate. And of course, my guest, as always, is the wonderful and the talented Wes Moody. Hey, Wes, how's it going today, buddy?
It's going great. I'm so talented, I can stream in my sleep.
Yeah, I know. I've heard this. Parrothead let me know that last night. And then, of course, I got to see some details this morning. So way to go, buddy. That's amazing.
We should all do it at least once. You may. There's still time.
I'm sure I'm going to. As you get older, the opportunity to sleep becomes the opportunity you don't want to lose.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? We have a special message today from author Stephen Walton's new brand. He's pushing really hard. So hang on just a moment, and we'll take a look at that. So let's see. Oh, hang on. And here we go. The premiere of the latest Stephen Walton commercial. Brought to you by Stephen's Best Brew. I'm Abby Thunberg, and I only use Walton's Best Blend for all your colon cleansing needs. Bring me my 9-iron. Joel is here. All right. So, yeah, so our buddy there gets the promotion that he needs. I know that he's trying to sell this. Once you become the Fandom Menace Astorian, in addition to being the Fandom Menace Historian, you definitely need something to promote. You got to maximize your brand capital, and I think he's doing it. I think he is.
Absolutely.
All right.
Branch out there.
There you go. All right. So we have an awful lot to talk about today. I know you and I were really focused in on the events of the week. And when it comes to pop culture, you can't get any bigger than the release of a AAA gaming title. And this week we had a special one on display. So would you like to take the ball and talk about the launch of this product?
Well, so I guess we don't really need to recap it too much for our audience, but there were some rumors, some speculation happening about the plot of Last of Us 2. Full disclosure, I haven't played the first one. I'm all kind of zombied out myself. But, the main controversy, of course, is about the main character killing off the character from the previous game and potentially being a trans person and doing the virtue signal. And Naughty Dog's like, no, they're not. Quit, stop it. And was copyright striking people left and right over their stupidity. And so, and then they said, it's not true. The rumors aren't true. I don't know why they talk like a Scotsman, but they do.
Well, they do. They did it. They did a good job there. But as it turns out, I don't believe, and this is the case. I believe that the character represented was originally intended to be, or possibly very much is, a trans person. I mean, if you've seen the scene that you and I have very much about, is Boomer. If you've seen the scene, you very much know for a fact that this is, or it should be, a trans person, right? I mean, that's not lost on anybody, is it?
So I unfortunately watched the scene, and I think there's a couple of tip-offs to this being a trans person. Number one, the position. If you'll note the screen there, folks, the position. And also, if you see the chestal region of the character of Abby, that is not a woman's chest.
Right. And here's the thing, Wes and I don't really care about any of this stuff. It's in fact, I have no problems with, any anybody's choices, anybody's preferences, anything they were born with. I have no trouble with your immutables, but I can say that I'm upset or offended or angered by the fact that this was hidden, or lied about, or whatever else you'd like to say. I mean, there's so much insincerity in the world now. As somebody who considers themselves to be a consumer advocate, this type of thing is very frustrating. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, and the way that they went after, YouTubers and fans was kind of, I mean, it was very, very poor form. I mean, you and I as YouTubers, I mean, we get criticism all the time. Yeah, that's what happens when you put yourself out there, when you birth a product into the world. You're going to get criticism and even haters. And so that's part of the gig. And if you're a big studio like Naughty Dog, and Naughty Dog has made some very good titles, by the way.
Amazing games. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you have a misfire and really, I mean, people are focusing in on, the fact that, basically it appears to be a virtue signal, appears to be, shock value for the sake of shock value, to me anyway. People are calling them out on that. And that's I think that's legit criticism, is it not? I mean,
I think so. You and I have talked about this, privately, but we've also done it live on stream a few times. And, it wasn't, look, if your game leaked and your content leaked, it's frustrating and it's disappointing. And of course the studio made, a lot about that. They talked about it, and that's, that it makes a lot of sense. You spend a lot of time and effort and money developing a game, but at the same time, it's out there in the world. So it's not, the information is no longer private, and you can't copyright strike people just because they have an opinion on your product, or, they share a leak about your product, which is already out in the world. And that's, if you listen to Hogue or Rakita Law or any of those people, they say in these circumstances, unless there's something that's a trade secret involved, that what they were doing wasn't good, wasn't fair, wasn't accurate, whatever else. But, and then you have the it's not just the virtue signaling, guys, because I could care less. It's the fact that they lied about it. I mean, they said, let's put this game in context, right? And so Troy Baker goes out into the world and he says, hey, you have to play the game. A couple of screenshots, an hour and a half of, development footage, but a couple of screenshots is not going to ruin this game. And in all honesty, they ruined the game. Ruined the game. You ruined the enjoyability. And if you watch the gamers that have played this game, and you see that they're the moment that the disgust is realized, because it's you can't hide your face, you can't hide your reaction. So watching PewDiePie go through what we all went through when we read the leaks, and then when I still have all 90 minutes of the leaked video. So, it was there for everybody to see, and like I said, as consumer advocates, which I consider us to be as part of the Fandom Menace, it's important for us to say, look, don't waste your $60 on this. Have you seen any videos that kind of sell that impression to you?
Don't waste your $60 on it. Yeah.
And I mean, and here's Mr. Disingenuous himself. And again, they come out and they make all these things, and this video says, well, we're supposed to be celebrating, and the game went gold today. We're supposed to be having a drink in our office, which is not very PC of him, by the way. And all of that is well and fine. I mean, you want to celebrate releasing a game, but this thing was so injected with politics. And this is the other thing that we talk about in the Fandom Minutes. Just get your flipping politics out of my face. You can have them. They can be there. There can be subtleness in this stuff. You go ahead.
There was nothing subtle about that scene. Nothing subtle at all. And I mean, it's post-apocalyptic zombies. Yeah, you really think people are caring about it? Just God damn it.
It's frustrating, and that's the thing. You're telling a zombie story, and you got to put all this other garbage in it, And again, I mean, when this thing leaked, this is the statement they were. Oops, wrong window. Hey, I'm boomering out hard. When this thing leaked, this is the statement that the studio threw out there. And if you haven't already seen it, or if you would just need a refresher, this is what they said. We know the last few days have been incredibly difficult for you. No, it hasn't. We feel the same. Well, I'm sure you do. It's disappointing to see the release and the sharing of pre-release footage from development. Well, no, it wasn't. It was very helpful. It saved people money. And do your best to avoid spoilers, and we ask that you don't spoil it for others. I'm sorry, it's out in the world. And you know what? If I can save people money, I'm going to. I did. And you know what? Hail to Lethal Lightning, Ryan Cannell, Jeremy Griggs, and pretty much all of the Geeks and Gamers folks, and pretty much everybody in the Fandom Menace, and even those that aren't affiliated with Fandom Menace, for going out there and telling the truth about this game in advance. So good on you.
I believe we have Lethal Lightning in the chat.
Yeah, we do. I saw him, and hail Lethal Lightning. And I said in the chat, and I'll say it here on the stream, boy, yesterday's interview was so great. Couldn't believe it. It was awesome. I mean, what a great way to spend the morning. If you're not watching the full Aussie on the Saturday morning in the States, or I guess, is it Saturday evening in Australia? I don't know, man. They time travel. I have no idea what time it is over there.
Yeah,
that was such a great live stream. I mean, and they kept Axel on for like an hour, because he was only supposed to stay for half an hour. And it's awesome. And I think he might get. I think they might work out getting one of the stars of that parody on the thing. And if that happens live, dude, that stream's gonna be huge. I hope your live channel. Oh, and go subscribe to Lethal Lightning Live. I'm not sure if he hit his subscriber goal, but dang, he really should. So he really should. So make sure you get his live channel too, guys. It's awesome. So So here's the thing, and this is how everybody feels. RR says kind of what I'm feeling, or maybe many of you are feeling. Keep the $60, and Runner Studio says, get Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Yes. And here's the thing, guys. You can be whatever you want to be in Cyberpunk 2077. You're going to be able to enhance or whatever with your genitalia. And you're, so if you want to be, you can play as anybody you want. This is the difference.
Oh, my God. I want to be Michelle Obama.
Yeah, that's a roll of quarters, dude.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true.
Very long roll of quarters.
Can you put a roll? Can you play with a roll of quarters in your pocket?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least you get the option.
There you go. Yeah, no kidding. The discount bin is going to be full of physical copies of The Last of Us Part 2 very soon. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't know. Okay, so before this, what other giant failure launch do you remember?
Oh, the Fallout, Fallout 76. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was awful. Oh, man. It was a train wreck. And here's the thing. I mean, this property in The Last of Us, they talked about launching a television series on HBO with this product, right? And so that was one of the things that made it into one of my videos, or a couple of them. And I was thinking, it's not going to happen. That's the nicest way I could put it. It's just, I don't think this thing, they ran it into the ground, and then people ran over it. I mean, the early Metacritic scores that came in were not pleasant for anyone to look at. This is really early on. You had the critic reviews. You had 91 critic reviews that were positive and 3 mixed. Well, the 3 mixed were probably the closest to telling the truth. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody has to agree with that, right? And then, you have user. Go ahead.
Can you even call them critics anymore if they're only given positive reviews?
No, they're shilling. We've called them shills forever. The shillerazzi. They shill products on YouTube. They shill products on Twitter. Dude, IGN. I keep getting IGN in my timeline on Twitter, and I'm like, dude, I don't care what this diverse group of individuals have to say about the sounds of the booting up of the freaking Xbox and the PS4. How is this news? This is how scrambling for good content these people are right now. They've got nothing because they can't criticize any of these companies or the products that they sell, or they lose their access, which is the problem with access media. They are held to the standard of promotion and not critique. So you're right. You can't call them critics. Oh, it's frustrating. It truly is. So, and none of this got great. I mean, if you look at, the overall rating score here, and this was early on. I mean, this only had 11,400 ratings at the time by the users, and it was a 3.
Whoa,
That number, yeah, I glitched. Yeah, that number went up and down, a lot. And even Neil, in his most disingenuous way, promoted, oh, we've had more user scores on this video game than any we've ever had. Of course, he didn't say that they're not, they're 99% negative. They make this game look like a toilet brush, but whatever. So I don't know. And then the thing that pissed me off the most is they went after channels like Lethal Lightning and Ryan and, people that we love for memes and for, and for critiques about, video, the video critiques without even showing media like I'm showing right now.
Yep.
Without making laugh of it. And we have creators across the internet that make some amazing stuff, right? And look at that. I mean, some of these were brilliant, and I showed them on my latest video because now, what are they going to do? They're going to come after me for content they didn't create on YouTube? No, I don't think so. This was one of my favorites. Stick figure. There is 0 on here, and this one got taken down at one point in time. So, yeah, I really. I know. Every once in a while, I go all Matrix. I know. And I'm asking my computer. Wes and I were talking about that. I asked my computer to do a lot, guys, with the video and everything else. But it'll get better. I promise. I'm upgrading. But beyond all that, I mean, this was probably the best representation of the, of the post-leak world. Because why are you defecating on my plate? And how do you know it's defecation? It isn't even out yet. So those were the arguments. I mean, why are you serving up this pile of garbage? And well, how do you know it's garbage? We haven't released it yet. No, we knew. It was a giant pile.
You can't spoil something that's rotten.
Exactly. Yeah. And you could smell it long before this game came out. So if you bought this thing after being warned, I apologize. I'm very sorry. I wish there was a way in the United States for you to get a refund. So, and then you have, this is a true statement. They went after the channels that could handle it. Lethal and Ryan are big boys, and they definitely know their stuff. And there's no doubt about that. I mean, talk about, a couple guys there specifically, but like I said, overall, I think the YouTubers that were aggressive in mocking, because that's what we were doing, aping, mocking, whatever terminology you want to use, this garbage. We were standing up and we needed to, and you and I think going back a couple of months now, we had this conversation on one of my very first live streams.
Oh, so, yeah. CBS, CBS went after me and did a copyright strike on my channel, on 2 of my channels, actually. And so, yeah, I mean, that's just something that these guys do, these, whether it's video game studios or television studios, and, it's mute criticism. And a lot of that is, it's a chilling effect. It's a scare tactic because they know they don't have a leg to stand on. And so I'll just give the Cliff's Notes version real quick on how the copyright strikes work. So they strike your channel. If you get 3 strikes, they don't only wipe out that channel, they wipe out every channel tied to your email address. So it's not just that one. So if you've got a business channel or another channel, they all get wiped. So in order to fight it, you have to give your personal information. You have to give a physical address for service of process because it starts a legal process. And you can't serve to PO boxes. You can only serve to physical addresses. So many YouTubers use their home address for that. So, and some of us, like Doomcock, for example, use, a pseudonym or a persona. So they would have to give their given name to fight something like that. So a lot of YouTubers don't want to do that. And so they do. It's a tactic in order to do that, even if it's a bogus claim, which most of the time they are.
Yep.
And so,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So there's another thing at play here, and there's the two ways you can do it. It's called counter notification. So you can go through YouTube, and when you get the copyright strike, it also has the legal information on where to directly contact the claimant. And so I always do all of the avenues that are available to me because that's just how I roll. So I did it through YouTube, and I did it through to fight CBS, and I did it through the contact information for CBS. Simultaneously, I received an email from YouTube that says, "We're sorry, we don't have enough information for the validity of your counter notification, so we didn't send it to CBS. Sorry." So your strike is maintained. At the same time, I received an email from CBS saying, "Oh, we're sorry. We've went ahead and reversed our strike and released our claim." So those are the tactics they use. YouTube runs interference.
Well, I tell you what, in my case, because I've done battle with HBO now a few times, and I've won everyone, so that's not a big deal. And you just have to know the rules and how to skate around them. And I was put in a position where I had to dox myself and give my first and last name, but I didn't have to give them any of my address because it was just a claim and not a strike. So if they went the strike method, they would be getting a letter from my attorney with their return address and not mine. Yep. So and again, that's an avenue that's available to me that's not available to a lot of other YouTubers, but I will always come back at you with an attorney. Always. it's how I roll.
Yeah, man, you have to. I mean, I didn't use an attorney for that because I was going to wait because here's the thing. So when you counter notification, it starts a legal process at the federal level. Federal level is federal court. That's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time they don't want to even bother with it because then they have to do research. They have to pay the attorney. And if they're in the wrong, so that's why it's a scare tactic, and that's why you have to fight every single one.
Yep. Yeah, it's bad. And here's the thing. Ultimately, this could all get shut down by YouTube by creating penalties for people who make false copyright claims and false copyright strikes. Those should come with penalties. So if you are, let's say, CBS or Time Warner, HBO, AT&T, whoever it is, that owns whoever now, because that shit's changing all the time, and we'll get to one of those changes today. Maybe we have enough time. But those things are measures they could take by creating penalties for having false copyright strikes. And I think that would stop all this crap. But YouTube has no interest in that. They've gone from being a support of, and I'm not banging on YouTube. I appreciate YouTube for being available for content creators like us. But I'm saying they could do better by their creators, the people that built them, by instead of bowing down to corporate interests, they could I don't know, maybe stand up for the little guys that built them. Is that the right way to put that?
Yeah, show up to the dance with who brung ya.
Yeah, and boy, did we all bring them. Think about how many independent content creators built YouTube. And you've got PewDiePie's a giant. Right? Joe Rogan is a giant. Joe Rogan just told them to F off.
Yep.
And for what? For good reason. For good reason. There was zero reason to make it hard for him to create content. And I guarantee you they're missing the views, whether you agree with him or not, they're missing the views that Crowder brought to their platform as well. Now you just get the little clips of Crowder, but you don't get, the full Crowder. And you know what? The Mug Club is working out well for him, I would say.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he did quite well with that.
That and his Walther sponsorship, I think.
Yep.
Too. There's nothing better.
Good all around for that.
Yeah. There's nothing better than seeing Quarter Black show up on Nerdrotic's channel wearing one of his Walther shirts. I'm like, you go, dude. That's awesome. Oh man, Wookie, too bad. All right, take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, man.
I think Wookie's been getting unsubbed from me. He said every time he's like, this is the third time he's had to sub. That's funny stuff.
It does. It happens a lot. I have people unsubbed from me. I get unsubbed from other people. I think I've been unsubbed from Gary and Doomcock and Drew even a few times. So I always have to check. And Bulls Trek. I've been subbed from Bulls Trek quite a bit.
Dude, I don't know. I subbed to Bulls Trek, and then the next month I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen any videos from Bulls Trek in a while. And then it's like, oh my God, what is going on? They're unsubbing people left and right. So when somebody says that to you, like Doomcock says it at the beginning of every video, Yellow Flash does the same thing at the end of every video. He says, he doesn't have to change it because it's the truth. They unsub people constantly, chronically. It's insane. It's nuts. So in
the case of Bulls Trek, just to add a little bit to that, dude, I thought he had stopped making videos for a time. I mean, I hadn't seen, the only reason I knew he was still doing videos and still around was because he guested on Nerdrotic. I was like, holy crap. And I looked and I was like, tons and tons of videos that I missed out on. Like he was being actively suppressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Not just, yeah. And that's because of the Star Trek hate. So the minute you start to go down the Doctor Who hate, which take your pick, a lot of people do not like Bulls Trek. But when you start to venture down, the avenues of the IPs, the earning IPs for these big corporations, man, they're going to utilize whatever influence they have over YouTube, and to say whatever. And it's, a lot of people can say, well, that's a conspiracy theory, and I know that you deal a lot with those things, Wes, but this isn't a conspiracy, man. The way the algorithm is done and the way and they clear out accounts that they think are bots. They're not bots. They're because they don't clear off everything that those bots are subscribed to. So it isn't garbage. And you know what, RR, I'm glad that you haven't been booted from either of us. I really am because So, one of the things that frustrates me the most is where the hypocrisy doesn't just stop with the games media. The hypocrisy comes from every part of mainstream media. They're all in the same bed, and this is why news is always suspect now. Forbes, the best thing Forbes could come out with after being critical of the game, mind you, they come out with this, that The Last of Us Part 2 is getting predictably user score bombed on Metacritic. Well, that might be true, and there may be a lot of reasons to score bomb a game, but the reasoning given by these news sources, these urinalists, as I like to put it, it is disingenuous because it's not we don't have a problem with a trans character in a game. I don't care. We don't have a problem with any of the sexual identity or physical identity, race, color, creed, whatever. We don't care. We're not ageist. We're not. It doesn't have anything to do with that. If you're making a game, make a good game, right? Don't put a bunch of baloney politics in it. And that's what happened. They took a game and they took characters and they took the setting and they defecated all over it. I don't curse on my channel, Wes. And
okay. I won't curse on your channel then either.
Well, you can. I don't. You're always welcome to. I don't care. That's what I told Tom last time he was on. I'm like, nah, go for it. I don't care. But
It'll be a fun workaround because sometimes when you work around the cussing, it sounds even dirtier than when you actually cuss.
Well, yeah, defecation sounds filthy. Ooh, nasty. You can smell it. Anyway.
Yeah, just imagine like corn floating around in there and flies fighting.
Yeah, see, isn't that worse? That's so much worse. So yeah. But honestly, then you look at the New York Times and this almost seems like a critique of the game, right? The Last of Us Part 2 is a dark game for a dark time. No. And I've read through all these articles, and you guys should too. I mean, the GameSpot stuff was just an aggregation of the various reviews that were done by other sources. I didn't find anything fresh or new in there. And this is all just within a few hours of this stupid game, coming into the main light, coming into the market for people to actually take a look at, and it's one of these frustrating things that we all have to go through every time, we are at odds with the way a form of media is presented. Because, like I said, these shills are going to push whatever they're going to push. Did you see any of these, Wes?
I have not yet. I do have a bit of a conspiracy theory about the Abby sex scene at the end.
Oh, and, really?
Yeah. So here's what it is. I think it's designed to curb excess teenage masturbation.
What's excess exactly?
Well, I'm trying to think back when I was a teenager. What, like 3 to 5 times a day? Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Is that excessive?
Well, I guess not when you're a teenager. Yeah, you look at that and it's like,
yeah. See, so in the context of this, I mean, it's an incredibly physical scene leading into this particular activity. And, if you watch it all in context and remember, that's an interesting theory.
I think, exactly. RR. Oh man, I'm getting like all creeped out right now. This is worse than zombies.
But look, they remember they wanted us to look at the context of these circumstances and these situations, and in the context, this looks like not a great. I mean, I didn't see whatever passion, that people tried to put into this idea, or Neil himself might have seen in directing this scene.
Maybe like Deliverance was inspiration for this. Squeal like a pig, boy. Squeal like a pig.
Yeah. But it's, man, I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? Another monster just hit on a point I wanted to talk about. Yeah, anime boobies are bad. But we get this in a video game. This is the thing that irritates me the most about Sony is this is in one of their own studios' games, right? And yet they have censored so many Japanese games that had much milder content than this. On titles that, it served the character, it served the story. I don't know how this served the story. Can somebody help me with that? Is there anybody in the chat that knows how this helped with the story? Wes, do you have an idea? How did this help?
Bueller. Ferris. Yeah. Bueller. Anyone? I mean, no. Holy crap. I mean, look at the look on that dude's face.
Well, it wasn't good. And again, I could care less, about the nature of any and all of this. And of course, like I said just a few minutes ago, I mean, there was supposed to be, and this is a legit story, guys. There was supposed to be, a TV show from HBO that was, already well down into the production process. So, there's a rough outline, that was developed. There was, a series of script adaptations that were supposed to cover, between the two games. That was the concept or the idea that was pitched. But with all this backlash, how could HBO go forward with a project like this?
Yeah. HBO's been making some poor decisions lately.
Yeah. And what's even worse is this game started out with like some ridiculous. I originally had heard 500 reviews before anybody could have possibly played the game. I mean, the game hadn't even been released to, the shills to review, and it already had just a bunch of 5-star reviews in various places, including Amazon. I don't know how that's possible. You're not supposed to be able to pre-rate anything on Amazon anymore.
Yep.
So, any idea where that would have come from, Wes? You know how that would have happened?
My tinfoil hat. I think my tinfoil hat is, there's some electricity happening with it. It's saying it's telling me that there's shenanigans afoot.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. Another monster. I did a video on the renewal of Westworld 4 season 4. And yeah, I did that a while back. The minute it was announced, I did not know that I knew season 5 would likely happen, but with like a shortened reduced episode count, because it was originally this show was slated for 5 seasons. So it wouldn't surprise me if they eked out 6 episodes for a season 5, but I don't think it'll be more than that. I think they'll Game of Thrones it because they know it's a piece of shit now. I mean, oh, look, I cursed on my channel.
It is a huge piece of dung. It is a steaming pile of feces. Indeed, season 3 was like unwatchable, dude. I mean, season 2 at least had a couple of good episodes, like the one with old man Delos, the robot scene.
Yeah.
That was fantastic, and just like the little glimpse of Anthony Hopkins, that was good. But season 2 it was very uneven, and then season 3 was just like a feces show.
Yeah. Well, season two had, first of all, you went from a linear story in season 1 to multiple timeline story that the audience just never caught up with. And most people didn't get what was happening until the last episode. So, you changed your storytelling format. Now, there were a lot of reasons for that. And you have to remember at that time, there were some fires and things going on in California, and they now have rebuilt those sets for the western town of I forget the name of the little town. Sorry. Anyway, they rebuilt those sets. I think twice over now because of fires and other problems, thanks to your lovely power company in California. So there was some issues in the production, which is one of the reasons why they pursued that avenue, so that they could shoot out of sequence and put the story together out of sequence. But, it just didn't help, and it was bad. And season 3 was just bad because they moved it. It's no longer Westworld. It's, something else. And I mean, I think Gary from Neurotic says it's Future World or Dystopia World.
It's not even Future World. It's not even good enough to be that. It's something totally different. It's, dude. I mean, they shit the. They got. Yeah, I know. They messed the bed.
You're fine.
They jumped the shark.
Yeah. Oh, it jumped the shark after the first season. Hey, Happy Dinosaur.
Hello, Happy Dinosaur. Happy day to you, my friend.
It's such a weird. I mean, we jumped over from Naughty Dog to this, but it's the same problem. We're dealing with the same problem in 2 different media. In HBO, there's no way, dude. If anybody at HBO is listening to me, if anybody at AT&T is listening eventually to this stream, I don't know why you would, but hey, it'd be great if you did. But don't do this. And if you're gonna do this, do better, because you're losing people. You almost had me as a subscriber to the new Warner Media product, and now you don't. I was going to jump on board because of the Snyder Cut, but now I'm not. So you're losing people. Stop doing it. But here's the bad optics of it all. Naughty Dog got rid of Amy Hennig, and this is an IGN story, so the Schillerati actually reported on something. This is going back a few years, guys, but sources claim to IGN that Hennig was forced out by The Last of Us, Neil Druckmann, and Bruce Straley, and explained that Uncharted may now come under their control. Yes.
Oh, no.
So they forced out a woman who crafted the narrative for these stories and many of the Uncharted games and a lot of other stuff. They forced her out of the job, and she had just celebrated a huge anniversary with them, and I think that's also in this story. She had celebrated her 10th anniversary with them, and she had been serving as a director and writer on Uncharted and 2 and 3, and it also worked extensively crafting the story and the characters for The Last of Us 2. Isn't that ridiculous? They forced out a woman so that they could give us this big steaming pile of cutscenes.
Yeah, maybe there's some I don't want to speculate here. Maybe there's something subconscious going on with Neil Druckmann. Maybe he's maybe he's got like a little bit of affinity for testosterone, and again, hey, it's all good. It's all good. I'm totally, but it. God, I don't know.
It's even more frustrating, and this is where Runner Studios is 100% right, guys. If you want to support the game of the year, if you want to get something truly amazing, get this. Just wait. I know it got delayed again, but that's okay. Just wait. It's another, few days. It's going to be fine. This will be the game of the year. This will be the game of the year this year. It'll be the game of the year next year. Based on the way that they roll this out, if the Witcher 3 is anything to use as a barometer, this will be the game.
Sweet. It'll be like time traveling for me because that'll be the year of my 100th birthday.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget. I'm older than you, but that's all right.
I'm older than a lot of people.
We're close.
Yeah, close enough.
But look, it's it's just incredibly disappointing, and I got very, very angry during the course of my video on this, and that's why my video was so short for this, guys. It's because I had so much frustration. I mean, when you look at the early ratings that came in, even this is the Google rating, that they use when you are like Google shopping, and it gives you all the different stores you could buy the game from, and the audience is coming in at 1.9. And again, this is very early, guys. This is very, very early. So, it is it's just disgusting. I mean, if they kicked people out now, I know you've heard the story. They kicked people out of their focus testing, right? Wes?
Oh, did you freeze up?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was asking a question. Did they kicked people out of their focus testing, right?
I believe
for
so.
This game? Yeah, and they even kicked people off their own team because they had the wrong opinion, right? Yeah.
Yes, in fact, that seems to be where the leaks have come from, allegedly, supposedly.
Hey, that would be great. You know what? I agree with Happy Dinosaur. Throw a clap in the chat, or throw a clap in the chat, or a number there. That how about a number one? Yeah, for the upcoming Cyberpunk game, because I think it's gonna blow everybody's mind. I think even the visualizations that we've seen so far, even the simulated gameplay that we've seen so far, I think it's underselling.
That going to be in 4K?
I don't know. Probably on computer. I don't know about on console. I mean, on the new generation consoles like the PS5, because it's going to release. It looks like it's going to release almost in tandem with the PS5. So if that's the case, I would think you'd get 4K gaming. I think you're going to get 60 frames 4K. I think so. But we talked at length about the PS5 last weekend with the custom hard drive and the way that the pipeline is going to work between the processor and the GPU, the huge memory bandwidth that had, which essentially could offload the entire, or I should say half of the entire hard drive every second. That's data moving. So if you have to wait, if anything loads in weird, then that's a coding issue on the software creator side, because it's not going to be the hardware, at least not for a while anyway. Although games are getting huge, man. I don't know. If anybody bought this game, look at all the ones in the chat and the claps. You guys are yeah, I know. I'm super.
That's why we have the best chat on YouTube.
We do. Yeah, we are collectively. Our group of people is amazing. We really do appreciate all of you guys. We really and truly do. In fact, before we end today, which we've got about another 15 minutes, I want to talk about a creator and a very special person in our community that doesn't get enough credit. So we'll get to that towards the end. You know what? And I'll take a time out here real quick. I'm just for fun. I'm gonna throw one more of my favorite memes in here. I'm going to say, like I said at the beginning, and some people have joined since then. If you haven't taken the opportunity to thank one of the two people that brought you into this world, if you have contact with that person, you probably should, because Father's Day is merely just an acknowledgement and a thanks for being brought into this world. Mother's Day is the same thing. Usually your mothers have a greater influence on your life than your fathers, but your father can be a guide when it comes to knowing how to live right, to how to treat women properly, how to do all of these things. So take the time on this special day, on Father's Day, to thank that person in your life, even if they're not your biological father, even if they're just a special male role model in your life. Take the time today and say thank you.
Absolutely. And if there's a little bit of a beefing happening or some issues, it might be a good time just to set it aside and reconnect.
Yeah, and we don't often tell people enough how great they are. So, and believe me, it's nice to hear that you're great. I enjoy it when people say, "Hey, good video." I mean, so it's an extra special place when somebody that is especially if you have a good relationship, tells you, "Hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You've done so much for me, and I want to acknowledge you." That's huge. So, anyway, enough pontificating from me. Do you have anything else to add, Wes?
No. Happy Father's Day to all of our amazing fathers out there in the audience, and appreciate all of your hard work. And I've just I've got friends that are some amazing fathers that have done some great things for their children that inspire and humble.
Yeah. And you know what? I look at this. I love this, guys. Good job. Yeah. You know what? Look at these people. This is amazing. Thank you. Yeah. Right. But so Wes is great too. Another monster. He really is. Wes is one of my YouTube heroes. So there you go.
Oh, you're one of my heroes, man. No, stop it. My production value is junk compared to your stuff.
No, man. I still love your background. I feel like I'm like in a live studio, and you're interviewing somebody on the couch. You have a great. It's awesome.
Oh, that's what I was going for. At some point, I'm probably going to revamp slightly, but for now.
Oh yeah, I got to change up. I got to change up my area too. So I'm gonna have to start showing off my books. But
yeah, I was thinking of doing like kind of like those Asian Japanese dividers, and I was going to do the LEDs in the back of them, the color changeable LEDs.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I thought that would be cool.
Yeah, that sounds like the bar wall, and because I've got the frosted glass with the LEDs behind them that I can change on. Yeah, it looks amazing. I can see that. Plus, dude, that would make that studio pop. Oh my gosh, that'd look great. Anyway, sorry, guys.
No, it's just get excited. Sorry, yeah, absolutely.
Inside baseball stuff.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so in all honesty, this game is a shame. I have nothing against The Last of Us, the first game. I was kind of ready to tap out of zombie games already in 2013. I mean, I was starting to lose some oomph for this stuff, and I know there are a lot of people that are there. They're into zombie games still, and that's fine. They just cease to be my cup of tea. But this game is a great departure from that original theme. You know what I mean? And that's just such a shame. Look at what Runner did.
Which one did we disrespect? Which man did we disrespect? Culture.
Yeah. No. He retweeted Naughty Dog, telling them that Happy Father's Day to the character he disrespected. They disrespected men all the way around. I mean, but yeah, Joel got that is just an awful thing. The girl. This is ridiculous. 2 hours into this game, you're watching a girl witness the killing of her father figure. And like I said, I mean, PewDiePie's reaction speaks to what I think everybody's experience is. I mean, I think that's why Jeremy showcased it in his video, Jeremy Griggs on Geeks and Gamers. I think that's why it showcased there. I think, and he wasn't wrong in doing it. And then, I watched a well-known creator get to that scene, take the disc out and cut it in half and start playing Mario Kart on his stream live on Twitch. This happened. So it's just, watching people's reactions to all of this has been amazing. So, and if you want to send a company a message, don't buy something. You don't have to. I mean, all of us, our thing is to react and to take on companies and stuff like that because we're compelled to do so. But you, as a consumer, and as a just as a person, you don't have to take on these. You don't have to do it that way. Your money is the most valuable thing to these people. So
absolutely, it should be. So just walk away. It doesn't have to be necessarily anger or bluster. Just walk away. Just walk away and close your wallet. and that should send the message. I think you and Lorena were talking about that on one of our streams. That was on This Week in Bullshit, I believe. Oh, I cussed.
Yeah, no,
that's the name of the show.
Told you
it's
it's
proper
fine.
name.
I told you. It's fine. We're good.
And about the shareholder meeting and how that was, the shareholders are getting mad.
Yeah. No, I really hope that. I was going to get maudlin. I'm going to not do that. But I had a good conversation with Lorena. Lorena is probably one of the brightest people on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed to her, I don't know why. She's amazing. Let's try to push her sub count up as fast as we can because she needs to be monetized. Her voice needs to be heard by a huge audience.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Love Lorena.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, exactly. You're getting mad, so go do that.
Yep.
Mario works.
I do want to just comment here. Now, the guy that cut the disc in half, I really hope that was a copy that, wink, wink, fell off the truck and wasn't something that he purchased.
A number of those Twitch folks get those games kind of like game reviewers to play, or they're gifted to them by their subs. Yeah. And, that's great. That's great and all. Or your sponsor gets it for you or whatever. I mean, because a lot of those people now have heavy hitting sponsors. And, it's yeah, but here's the thing, man. I would have cut it up too. I first of all, and I'm going to say this out loud, guys. I will never play this video game.
I just want the chat to know that if you send me a copy and I play it, I won't be cutting it up, but I will be doing target practice with it with my brother at a shooting range. So just throwing it out there.
Yeah. So for the last few minutes before we end, and I appreciate everybody who's here today. We've had a little lighter crowd, and I'm going to explain to you why. We have an incredible group of people that help support our channels. Wes and I are gonna talk about one of them in particular, but I'm just gonna say that the Fandom Collective is a wonderful way to be informed on who's produced a video. If you're not a part of their Twitter stream, you should be. So go subscribe or follow, I guess is the case with Twitter. Go follow the Fandom Collective. If you're a creator, you want to follow the Fandom Collective because these folks promote the YouTubers that you appreciate, the independent voices, the creators that you otherwise would not have heard of.
Absolutely.
So just keep that in mind. So there's a very special person that's part of the main three people. There I believe are more than that, but the main three people, and her name's Phelan Games on Twitter, and I put the link in the description, and Tommy's promoting them here in the chat. But that's for the Fandom Collective. But Phelan Games on Twitter is the handle, and she has a game channel called The 13th Hour, and she is one of the people that's part of the Fandom Collective that promotes our channel. So whenever somebody's video drops, she's out there making sure it gets promoted. If it's not flipped out or the rookie critic, it's her. And so there may be more people that I just haven't come across yet, but I think those are the three primary people. And so the reason we're not as big a crowd as we normally are is because they're taking the day off because of Father's Day, or most of the day off. And so with that being said, I wanted to take the opportunity, even though we have a lighter audience than normal, is to say, go and support these people. Flipped Out has a great channel. The Rookie Critic has a great channel. And he literally makes movies. He's about to release another one here shortly. I think I'm in it. Are we in it, Wes? Did you put it in a cameo?
Oh, shit. I knew I forgot something. Damn it. I just cussed again. I knew I forgot to do something. Okay, I will be doing that as soon as I get done.
All right, yeah. So a lot of us are going to be making cameos in that. So, but of the three of us, or excuse me, of the three of them, Phelan is in a position where she might be able to use some of our help. She has a GoFundMe right now because she is trying to upgrade her computer power. And she's found a used machine that will help her make better content and produce better gaming streams. And she does a really good job. She has tons and tons of gaming videos. She does a daily video game stream. You guys should be checking it out because it's totally worth it. So just keep that in mind. For when we finish the video, if you're in a position to help her out, please do. It's linked in the bottom. And hail to Snowdub. What's going on?
Hail Snowdub.
All right. Yeah. So, and you know what? Parrothead, the Phantom Menace is an amazing collection of people, a very loose collection of human beings that don't always share the same opinions. We argue. It's okay. Everybody's fine. We're all adults. We can have a disagreement and be good because we had a pretty good disagreement between some of our favorite creators fairly recently. So just keep that in mind. And you know what, Runner? I burning a copy, sure. Depending upon how many copies of this I ended up with, I mean, I have a whole bunch of Target shot for my 9, and I could go to town on that. So yeah.
Yeah, that disagreement, the Jeremy camp and the Doomcock camp on Filoni, that was interesting because I'm a fan of both of them. I'm a Legionnaire with Doomcock, but I found myself more in the Jeremy camp on that.
Well, in Jeremy and as more aggressively on a Nerdrotic stream like a week ago or 2 weeks ago now, but we disagree, and it's okay. I disagree with people in my own chat. I mean, my buddy Toxic Manflu and I, the other day, there's no love lost. We love each other, man. It's just, you're going to come up against a difference of opinion, or you may have a different take on something, and that's why we're all here. So
I really enjoyed the exchange, and that's another thing that's nice. We can enjoy having the debates.
Yeah, it was awesome. So just keep that just keep that in mind, guys. If you hear Wes and I arguing, or me and I imagine Bear Nerd Fun and I might go around on a couple of things from time to time. Or if you hear us discussing conspiracy over on Wes's channel, we're gonna have different takes on stuff, and that's okay. It's all right. Yeah, so, but yeah, and it was awesome, dude. An hour and 20 minutes of just fire. It was amazing on FNT. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you see what Perry Chan put together for the intro for the new Nerdrotic FNT thing? The intro with all the animated video and Jeremy taking off a hood, and there was like a bunch of kung fu. Dude, go back and watch that stream from Friday. At the beginning, he runs that. It's ridiculous. Now I have to step up my game. I thought I made cool stuff, Of course, this I stole outright, but then I changed it. But I made cool stuff, right? But this dude, Perry Chan, makes me look like a chump. So now I got to step it up, guys. I'm gonna have to create some more things. I got to step it up too. Yeah. Look at that. Happy Father's Day. Absolutely, guys. Yes, please consider that. Hey, look. Hey, Tom. How's it going, buddy? Yeah.
Hey, Tom.
Hey. Merry Christmas. Well, or Happy Father's Day.
Close enough. Close enough.
Yeah, that's close enough. Yeah. Look at it. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's insane. I'm sorry that happened to you, Tommy. I know what it's like to have the plumbing problems on a holiday.
I had that. Oh man, well, I don't know if we have enough time. Oh, well, I'll just tell it real quick. Yeah, I lived out in the country, and my brother and I and my father were all hanging out, fixing up this house. There was an apartment. My dad stayed there in the main house. I was staying in there with my brother, and we were helping him fix the house. And my brother and my dad got liquored up and somehow hit something with like the quad and took out the well. And it was just like nobody wanted to fix it, and we didn't have water for a month. It was miserable.
Oh no. Yeah. Plumbing problems suck, and it's no good. But yeah, and you see, Runner Studios makes a good point. I prefer Reeve Superman, and he prefers Cavill Superman. Well, we'll never have Reeve again, so I'll take Cavill. But Reeve is the definitive Superman. So
yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and Perry Chan is a legend, and like I said, I got to step it up. So I have to step it up for other people too, because I'm starting to develop stuff for other folks. I need to get it together. So yes, hail Tom, hail Tom, hail Mead, hail. Gosh, yeah, please, Tommy, promote everybody. This is fantastic. So, well, we're coming up on the hour mark, and like I said, I wanted to promote Fallon. So please, take the time, go over there, visit. If you don't subscribe, at the very least, subscribe, guys. She's good. And and if you hit up that GoFundMe, it's not, I'm not going to do a thought begging thing for you, but if you can do, and that's all. Anyway, so Wes, let's talk about your channel real quick before we sign off. How about that, buddy?
Okay, I'll try. I am Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast. You can find me at youtube.com/Wes Moody Webcast. I talk about pop culture, current events, occasional conspiracy theories, occasional card talk. And I will vlog about whatever the heck I want to because it is my webcast. I'd be honored if you'd consider subscribing if you are not. And if you are, please check because YouTube is unsubbing people. Hope to see you there.
All right. Well, yeah. So double check your subscription, guys, not just to us, but to everybody, because that's insane. It's been happening a lot. And who is a better Batman, Bale or Tom? Tom is the better Batman than Christian Bale.
Hands down.
Yeah, I don't think that's debatable. I don't. Is there anybody out there that would? No, RR thinks it's and Tom for the win.
Yeah.
Anyway, so thanks for joining us today, guys. I really appreciate it. If you if you just happened here. It just happened on here just because, then thanks for coming. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you didn't, then I'm sorry. You can hit the dislike, but it still counts as engagement, so I don't care. Other than that, I hope everybody has a great day. Make sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands. Spend at least 20 seconds on that. And until next time,
see ya.